girls, so one more video for today. I don't know the order I'll get them uploaded, but I've recorded 3 today. So this video I want to talk about my experience with a doula, because I know lots of you girls are looking into them or have questions about them. So I know some of you are doulas, so of course you kind of know what's going on, but if anybody has any questions about, I don't know, an experience with a doula, let me know. So I decided to get a doula because I decided I wanted to try to have a natural childbirth this time around. So, you know, I talked to my husband and he's like, "Oh, that's kind of a lot of money to have someone there." He's like, I'll support you." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you're not a," well, hair's falling in her eyes. "You're not a woman, so it's kind of hard to understand the feelings I'll be feeling because you don't have those parts." So he just kind of went along with it. And when, you know, I asked him the other day, I said, "Do you think the doula was worth it? Do you think?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, every penny." He was, you know, so he had a complete change of heart about hiring a doula and everything like that, which I was glad to hear, because I didn't want him to feel like we had wasted money. But the fee for our doula, I'm just going to put it out there because a lot of people wonder how much a doula costs. And honestly, for the services you get, I think it's a reasonable price. You don't have to pay it all up front. You pay it over your pregnancy and postpartum in most cases. But our fee was $650. That included a phone interview, a face-to-face interview, 3 prenatal visits, the day of labor, and up to 3 postpartum visits if I want them. So, you know, we had the phone interview and that went well. You ask all your questions you want to ask. And then she came over and I met her, and she gave me the contract and said, you know, you can take a month and decide if you want my services, but after that period of time, you know, a lot of doulas will only accept so many clients every month, so that they're not, like, the chances of them being able to be there on the day you deliver is higher. They don't want to like have like 10 clients and then have them all go into labor at the same time. So they give you a little bit of time to decide if you want to hire them. And then for us, the first like $200 was due when we signed the contract. The second $200 could be paid anytime, and the remaining balance was to be paid sometime postpartum. So she came over, and I posted in my pregnancy vlogs the doula updates about specifically everything we went over at each appointment. But one of the visits, we just kind of talked about what she does and how she can support my husband and I, and what we want out of our labor and some things to think about. The second time she came over, we actually went over my birth preferences. The third time she came over, we went over coping techniques, like how do I relieve tension, how do I deal with stress, how does my husband deal with stress, things like that. And you know, she'll write everything down, and then in labor, if she could see, like I told her, I always clench my jaw, and I know like that is really bad in labor, because there's some connection with like tension in your face and tension down there. And so if she would see me like doing that, she'll be like, "Remember to relax your jaw," or she'll come like touch my shoulder and like, you know, say, "Just relax," and like things like that. And so all these discussions we had were very helpful. And not only that, they give you a chance to get to know your doula, to trust them, to be comfortable with them. Each visit was about 2 hours, so on top of like the business of birth things, we got to know each other too. And then at 37 weeks, she went on call, so I could, throughout the whole pregnancy, I could call her, email her, or text her anytime with questions. But at 37 weeks, she'd be on call for the birth, which means she wouldn't go more than however many miles away from her home, so that she could be back in time for birth. And so at 39 weeks, when I went into labor, I called her. She was willing to come over and help me through early labor at home, but I'm more of like, I go inward when I'm in pain, until apparently I'm in a lot of pain, and then it's different. But in the early labor, I just was in the bathroom with a candle lit. The lights were off. It was like it was early morning, like 4:30 in the morning. And I just labored quietly by myself until I was like about somewhere between 5 and 7 centimeters. And then we went to the hospital. But, she went to the hospital. She helped me through labor. Her presence in the room, I think, really made a difference in how the nurses and doctors approached things, I guess. If they want to hook me up to a monitor, she could say, can you use the Doppler? Or can we do this first so she can get in the tub quicker, and things like that. Because she knows more of the procedures than maybe you as a patient would. So she was able to help my wishes be understood, and without me having to express them myself. Like, she could tell my husband, like, go tell them that you want this or whatever, and I could focus on labor, and I didn't have to worry about any of that. It was all taken care of for me. When I was in the water in the tub laboring, my husband was there, and most of the time my eyes were closed. And, she was pouring, like, she had this, like, scoop thing, and she was pouring hot water on my belly. But my eyes were closed. I didn't really know if it was my husband who was doing that or my doula that was doing that, but I was well taken care of. And, it was good. Anytime I would just get out of control with the pain, which at one point you want to surrender to the pain. But, if I was losing it, she would be like, look at me, and like, or look your husband in the eyes, or she would help bring my focus back. So she was really helpful and non-judgmental at all. She would be like, she would tell me to do something, and I'd be like, no. And, it was fine, but she would really try to help. And then through the actual pushing, she helped support the perineum so I didn't tear. And her and my doctor actually, like, had some side conversations, and they really enjoy working together. So that was fun to see. And then postpartum, she came over, like, it was the day after I got home, I think. And she helped with breastfeeding. And yeah, I breastfed my son for 19 months. I know how to breastfeed. That doesn't mean she knows how to breastfeed. So she helped me with Annabelle's latch, because Annabelle she doesn't open her mouth very wide. So I was getting sore because she was not, and still isn't, a great latcher, but we made some improvement, so that was good. And then she came over again at like a week and a half postpartum, and just like would just kind of talk. She brought over pictures she had taken during labor and delivery. My hospital's policy is no pictures during, like, the pushing and the baby being born. So I don't have any pictures of that, but I have pictures of labor, and right after they put Annabelle on my chest, the pictures picked back up. So it was nice that my husband didn't have to worry about getting pictures. My doula had the camera strapped to her, and she would just take pictures whenever. And then I don't have it yet, but she also has a timeline of labor and delivery. So she's going to write that into a story and then send that my way as well. So they do a lot. The fee, I feel, is reasonable. And it helped, I believe it helped me get my natural childbirth with an intact perineum, which you probably are sick of hearing me say that, but wait until you don't have an intact one and then you'll get what I'm talking about. Yeah, so she was great, and I would personally highly recommend using a doula. I really think it helps you if you desire natural childbirth. I really think it it's worth the money. It's a great investment, I feel. And like I said, my husband was on the fence about it, and he was like, totally thinks it was worth the money. So, yeah, I think that's it for, what my doula did and our experience with it. But if you have any questions, let me know. That was our experience with the doula. And like I said, if you want to know specifics about each time she came over, watch the pregnancy vlogs, because it's in there. And it should say in the title of the video, like, /doula, or they might even be separate videos. I don't know. Just look through my channel and you should find them. But yeah, having a doula was great. So, great. Thanks for watching, girls. Bye.